Okay, good. I remembered to hit record this time. Hello again. I'm gonna do the intro over since no one's really here. What's up, everyone? Oh, 2 viewers. Never mind. There are people here. Oh crap! I also can't do the cussing. I didn't mark it as mature. Sorry for that, everyone. Welcome everyone. Hi, I'm Nick, and this is the channel. We're just gonna do a pretty chill little art stream today, I think, and test everything out, see how it's working. So let's go on over to our drawing screen and get going. Why don't we? That sounds like fun, right? Let's do it. Here we are in the drawing screen. Now I am a little curious. I am very sorry if I'm looking down most of the time. We're doing a fun. So here's the iPad, and I will be drawing on it down here. You guys will get to be seeing it on the screen. It's gonna be good times. Yeah, that's the premise here. I figured what would be kind of fun to start with today would be some K-pop studies and drawings, some sketches. What am I trying to be fancy here? Just I watched a bunch of K-pop videos, and I've got a bunch of the scenes and the outfits and stuff stuck in my head. And so we're gonna do some of those. We could maybe even make it a fun little game of like. I won't put up the reference on the screen, and you guys can guess who the people are that I'm drawing. Yeah, that sounds like good times, right? Let's do that. Time to get started with the drawing. Won't that be fun? So we are in Procreate. I'm using my textured sketch brush, and that's a custom creation of mine. If anyone's interested, I can absolutely get the brush info up there. But as you can see, it's very small. Also, let's increase the size of that 25. It's just a little toothy guy here. Has some texture on the edges. Is really all that it does special. But that's how I like it. So we're gonna just kind of rough in the face I'm thinking of here, or I'm looking at for our reference, with a big rough circle, kind of vertical line for our center line. And then I don't know if you guys know this handy dandy trick for laying out a face. Okay, I shouldn't do the turn because I can just rotate my my iPad for myself, and then you guys don't have to suffer through the rotations and whatnot. So faces, real easy trick. Oval for the general shape. I mean, some people will do circle, but then you end up with this action. So I just start with an oval anyway. Find your center point. Nice little general line across for the center. That's going to be where the eyes land. And then from there, down to the bottom, roughly halfway there, do another one. It's going to be right about where the nose lands. And one more between this second line and your chin. And that's going to be roughly where our mouth lands in. So just throw those in immediately, and that's kind of our base starting point. The other thing I'm going to do real quick is turn down the opacity on this sketch layer. And we're going to be good and name it sketch layer. That way there is no confusion later on. We won't have any missing or unnamed layers that we just can't tell what's going on. That's good practice, baby. And before we get too deep in here, I'm gonna fix up our title thing real quick. There we go. K-pop sketches and chill beats, so people actually know what we're doing in here. And we'll that's updated. Perfect. Let me just see here. Okay, fantastic. Looks like we are looking good. Chat's still a little quiet, but that's okay. You guys are free to lurk, just see if I'm any good. I've not proven any bona fides yet. Oh god, I have glare from the window coming right in my face. Alrighty, let's see here. So, I've got my rough face in. Let's see, I got a little bit of gesture of a shoulder line. And there's actually going to be a hand up here. Roughly, so there's a thumb on that side, a hand here. Just rough gestures of hand shape going on here. Nothing fancy. We're gonna clean all of this up, get more detailed here in a bit. So we are gonna just kind of block in some of these major features here. Got the neck in there. The hair is going to kind of be the entire top and pretty much in line with the head shape for this one. And if anyone here feels like guessing at which, K-pop star, which song we're pulling from, be my guest. I imagine it will be quite a bit more progress before any of that becomes clear. So that's our basically rough outline sketch there, just to kind of get us plotted down with where everything's going to land and lay out. So now we can kind of zoom in here and get going on defining facial features and shapes and all that good stuff. So again, we've got our vertical line defining the center of the face, and let's just start kind of plucking in some of the... I like to start by identifying darks, but that's generally all drawing is identifying kind of values, lights and darks, and placing them appropriately to each other. So let's see if we can get in some more shaping here and see if we can really capture our likeness on this. Now, K-pop stars, being Korean in general, tend to have a bit of the flatter wide nose, which is, they are all great and beautiful and valid. All nose shapes are good. They just don't have as many. It's not going to be the big prominent features of like this type of nose, where my the bridge of my nose would create a more defined line. So we don't really need to define the line on our sketch here. Now we'll say this this mouth line being where it is currently is freaking me out just a little bit, because it's unintentionally reading as a mouth, and it's very upsetting. But very good. There we go. That's a little bit better. And now these eyes are like super duper. Hang on here. Okay, yeah. This is the other brilliant thing about working in digital, is that you get to kind of fix up the mistakes you make along the way. But I will say the monolid here creates a very dramatic and definitive shape that is going to be, I think, a key for getting this right. But we won't worry about trying to nail it here on first pass. We'll, again, just kind of roughly block in the shapes we're seeing here. And again, I want to kind of gesture at hair shapes here without getting too specific. Got an ear over on this side with a little audio piece in it. Just kind of define where we're seeing cheeks and all that good stuff. Now, right off the bat, I can see that this one eye is floating out here a little, so we're just gonna grab him with the selector, bring him in line a little bit more, Probably going to take this whole nose assembly, and with our uniform selection on, just take that down a bit. Oh, no, didn't want to rotate it in that direction. Just bring it back onto the center line there, and that's kind of a nice handy trick of having that center line sketched in. And I am not precious with this sketch layer at all. As you can see, we're gonna chop it and screw it and make it do what we need it to do to get where it needs to be. Alright, little coffee sip in there. Now our hair coming around. So let's see. And I have to keep zooming out to get, it's very easy to get lost in the scale of things when you're zooming in and out a bunch. Because then you lose scale of like shapes relative to each other. That's why the nose is already like kind of big, the eyes are floating away a little already. All that good stuff. So we will try and get that fixed up here. And while I am doing that, I'm gonna toss in some of the fun little stars we have here for you guys to start earning some chili pepper points and customizing those little avatars of yours. It's part of the fun of the little stream avatars. If you type in !jump, your little guy will jump for him. It's very good. Anyway, so it's back to the artwork here. Okay. So we've got cheekbones kind of prominently up here. Imagine that, K-pop star with cheekbones that of course are going to narrow very dramatically into a chin. Her neck is going there. We've also got the microphone that they are wearing because this is a live performance that I am pulling from here. Let's see here. Is no one getting the stars? Let's see if I can hit one here. Ready? Yep. Nice. Nailed it. It's just that easy, folks. It's just that easy. Anyway. Let's see here. So we've got... It's a circle, essentially, and a wire that comes around out here, basically. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we've got the hand shape here, which kind of undo those two lines because this placement is a little off. Actually, you know what? I don't need to. Again, we're sketching. This doesn't have to be precious. So let's just go ahead and block it in where it needs to be. There's an arm coming up here, the sleeve doing this action, and the hand is coming up here. I think that's gonna roughly... that's one of the other tricks of trying to like do a drawing off of a screen capture. And you know what? This is maybe not working as effectively as I was thinking for being able to follow along without the reference visible. So let me see if I can fix that up real quick. With a window capture, ref pick. Which, perfect, we've got the ref in. Let me just do some editing here so it's not the whole dang ding-dang screen. Oh boy. So first off, doing it on the wrong thing here, but that's okay. We can copy that over nice and easy. Oh goody, it didn't keep any of those edits, so just do another quick little crop-a-rooney here. stick this good boy right up top there. Actually, we can probably narrow that a little bit so that's even easier. And let's transition that over so that y'all can see. Here's what we're going for. We're going for Mr. Key, Kim Ki-bum, and his hot new single Helium. I don't know if the Helium was a single, but that's what we're doing. Okay? Cool. So now you can kind of follow along with how that's coming along. And the answer is a little tricksy. But hey, we're still just laying things out, getting the sketching in, right? So, I've sort of narrowed in on getting the base of the structures, basic structure stuff all cleaned up here. Trying to get in this. So he's got the very good little mullet flowing action here over the shoulder, and then we want to block in these big chunks of black for his very good vest piece here. Comes in, let's see, this is more mullet around this part of the neck here. And hey, it's fashion mullet, I understand. Perfect, and then we're just gonna give this a nice little hatching fill so we understand on the sketch here that this is sort of one of the darker areas of the drawing. And yeah, hopefully that's will guide us. Again, this is all just to guide us in our next steps, which will be to start blocking in color. We could do value only, just start in grayscale, and maybe we'll do that for another time. But I figured, today we'll just jump in full color. I'm gonna just marker or paint this this bad boy up as we do. So, with, I think, oh no, you know what I need still is some lips marked out here, and this is gonna be probably like the key to getting this one right, is nailing Key's. Boy, he's just got the sassiest little expressions, don't he? Isn't he just the sassiest little dude? But anyway, yeah, that's what we're working on. And so lips, eyes, nose corners, those are all like the very important little detail areas that I think are the most important to sort of capturing likeness. But that being said, I think this is going to do very well for us as a sketch layer to help guide us through the painting. Now, I am going to keep our sketch layer on top for now and change it to a multiply layer, so that way that it will show up despite whatever else, it'll show up above other layers, and that way it can still be sort of this guideline for us as we continue. So next, this is going to be BG color. No, not bicolor. Just BG color. Background coloring. And that means we need to switch to a painting brush. How fancy. You know what? We're just gonna go with the standard round brush. How about that? And then we're gonna get these, do some color picking here, and really fill in some of these purples and pinks. And I mean, that's part of the reason I picked this one, is I love this color scheme. This color scheme is so good for the set and for the outfit and everything. So yeah, let's try and find that purple first. It's kind of down here on this part of the wheel, and I mean, we're gonna blend it with some blues and whatnot, so I want some of the more saturated, and gonna turn our brush size up so we can cover this space in a more efficient manner. And just kind of pile it on here. This is going to be my first order of the day. We're just going to blot in some big purple streaks. And as you can see, it was a little bit of opacity difference there at the very beginning. And then just a little bit more pressure, pack can come on, and we can kind of get that filled in. So now, I'm going to try and find that nice hot pink for our big sort of center. Let's get that a little. That's one of the other perfect things, like, this is perfect composition to have this highlight color right behind his face and just sort of doing this like automatic highlighting going on there. So those are the two main colors that I'm seeing here, and then I also see a little bit of a blue kind of leaking in as a blending agent there, which is actually kind of a tricky one because it's a lighter shade there, it's looking like, than what you would have thought anyway, or at least than I would have thought. It's a little spot of light blue up here. And then we'll put some of that deeper blue into these areas, and then we're just going to kind of blend this all up, is what we'll do, and that will turn into the nice fluffy sort of background shapes we see there. So, hard to believe, and in fact we can get rid of the sketch for the moment because we're not going to need it. Ooh, you know what? I think we need to switch up our chill beats here a little. Let's see what the other oh, hang on. No free ads for Mudwater here. Okay. Sorry about that. Totally forgot that that would also change the way the thing has it framed up here, but I think I've got us back to normal now, or at least close enough to what we were working with. So we're going back to blend up these background colors. Fun trick I just learned, not too long ago. You gotta make sure this smudger is on the same brush as the one you're painting with. And same with your eraser. Get those all on the same brush. And it's gonna make a world of difference for you. A world of difference. Alright, so now, that being said, we can kind of get in here and do our smudging. Here's another fun tip for the smudging. It's all directional dependent, so we don't want to smudge into the bright pink. If anything, we maybe want to come back in here and brighten this up a little after. So we're going to be smudging from the out in towards the pink. So, man, I got to get a different setup where you guys can see my hand as well on the screen here, because it's hard to talk in generalities about an area without actually doing a thing on the screen. Okay, anyway, smudger also needs to be increased in size, and as you can see, I like to work very zoomed out for smudge leveling, or smudge level activities. So let's just kind of fill in these areas here, and if we match that blue quite right, probably have to get a little bit more saturation in there. But those are kind of blending together. It's okay though. We kind of want there to be some streakiness and some smudginess into this, because that's basically the look it has, like little spots of color bleeding into each other. And little smudge got a little messy up there. Muddy these up with, we were trying to make them look like they're streaking together, not like they're, morphing into each other or anything like that. So just sometimes just some quick strokes will do it for you. Let's see here. And the bright spot up here kind of flows down into the other ones. So we push that one up. And then you see how we can kind of move through here and push the colors where we kind of wanted them to go. Which means we can kind of work into the pink now a little with the blue as it's working out there. And again, it's, yeah, we're not fully mixing the colors, we're just introducing their edges to each other a little. To soften this all up and make it look like the background of Key's very nice little set I'm pretty certain designed. So yeah, let's zoom out here, take a look at how we're doing. Fantastic. Let's see, yeah, specifically there's the section, well, and I guess it's a little different on each screen here, but there's some sections of specifically, like, they look like brush strokey. And definitely, like, just these little things where it's like, yeah, there weren't really any hard edges in this. Ooh. And at this point, this is where I'm finding that maybe the smudger is a little too big for the detail I'm trying to get, so we can take that smudge down a little. That's, yeah, we're gonna treat of doing just a little bit less heavy moving there. Make that feel a little bit more organic. Just, you know, some nice variations and whatnot. Maybe swing a little bit more blue over onto this side here. And we can kind of mix in here. Now I want it a little bigger again. Need those power strokes. Cool. I think we're going to call that pretty good for the background, although I do want to, let's pick this middle color and just find it a little bit brighter shade to punch up into the middle here. I think it's got to be a little lighter. That's what it's missing. Cool. I'm just going to kind of softly paint that into the central area here. And give it just a teensy little smudging so it doesn't stand out from all the other stuff that we did smudge up. Cool. So now that's a background, it's kind of flat color layer done. I'm going to add another layer here for our actual key painting, and that way if something's kind of funny on key, we can edit that layer and whatnot without having to destroy the background and then repaint that in and underneath. Yeah, hey Hugo, thanks for tuning in. That's our stream avatar, and if you hang out and accumulate some channel points, that will you can customize him. There's a little extension, either if you're on desktop there's a panel, otherwise there should be a little pop-up on the side that you could do, or one sec, let me check here. I think you can just do, let me see here. If you do exclamation point avatar, that might do something. Give that a try. Anyway, and yeah, let me know how that works out for you. But now let's get to painting Key himself, and this is where we're gonna want our sketch layer back on, to work as our guideline here for. Oh damn! Someone exploded. That was wild. Getting distracted by the little stream avatars. Okay, we've got the sketch in. Time to start painting. And so we've got a pink selected. We don't want it to be, I don't think, the same extreme bright pink that's working in the background. Pretty close, but not the exact same. So we're gonna work from this one and just take it down a little bit. Just a little less saturated, a little less bright. Because this is going to be sort of our base coat layer, and if we come back and look at it and see that it still needs something, it's going to be easier to have to go more saturated and more bright on top of that. So, without further ado, we are on our round brush. Good, good. Take our brush size down just a little bit here. And see if we can paint in all these. The pink of the outfit first here. And again, we're just kind of doing rough shapes here. Make sure I'm on the right layer. Very good. That's a good start. Nice to be on the right layer. Okay, through... And looking at this enough, I'm going to kind of start to understand what's happening where, all that good stuff. Like how the layering is working on the sleeves here in relation to the vest, all that kind of good stuff. And that's basically it for spotting pink on the clothes. But here's sort of here's what I'm going to do. We're going to use the same pink as a base coat for the rest of Key's body as well. And that's going to add that sort of harmonious pink undertone to the entire thing. So even when we paint on top of it later, everything will still feel like it's united by this warm pink harmonious tone. And it will also help give me a separation here so I can see the difference between Key and the background. So, practical, useful, all that good stuff. And just naturally there's a little bit of, hard to see delineation there between the skin and the clothes coloring. But let's see here. Okay, so we've got pink down. I'm trying to think. I want to do a very deep purple for the vest he's wearing. And so we will actually, again, color pick from the colors we're already using. And then just sort of take that down into the dark, deep, deep dark. Maybe not quite so dark that we can't read that it's purple. Still want to know that we're looking at purple. But it still needs to value-wise read as our black, essentially. Fun little tip from art school, all of you budding artists out there. You should always be very reserved with your use of pure black and pure white. In fact, right off the get-go, I can tell as I'm popping this down, the brush is a little bigger than what I want for here, because we kind of want this to lay in the concept of the shadows here. So this big shadow on the shoulder is a dark spot we want to block in, and then from there's a kind of a similar wrinkle just up a ways, and this is how we're going to kind of fill in this painting, is just by spotting these values, filling them in when we see them. And then all of a sudden, it's going to come to life. It's the magic. But as you can see, without layering up the drawing or the painting a little bit, it'd be very difficult to achieve a full result of realism here. So let's go over to that other left shoulder here and just kind of block in these shadows as well. And like you can probably also tell that like I'm hitting areas that are going to be light. Just sloppy stroke there. But that's okay because we're going to paint the light on top. And then it's going to read more realistically to how our brain understands how light works. Okay, so this is pretty all dark. This is kind of a defining border area here to separate the arm from the rest of the body. Let's see. Yeah, we just need to fill in this area up under that little light spot there. Now, since this little triangle on his shoulder on this side is basically all bright, so I'm not really going to worry about filling it in. I'm going to give it a light fill. How about that? But that is probably going to all get whited out at some point, so... cool. Now, let's see. We can reduce our brush size even more and kind of brush in just those seams on the shoulder. Lazy strokes, fam. This is the brilliance of working digitally, though. You just double tap to undo. Actually, it's a little darker up here, so we'll heavy that up. But again, first pass through, we're just laying in kind of blocks of color. And then it's going to get more and more defined as we tighten it up. So, zoom out again and check our progress here. He's got a nice little vest on now. Fantastic. That's what we love to see. And let's see, where will we jump next? Oh, where we need to jump is to fill in the shadow right here at his neck area where the pink shirt casts the shadow up against the neck here. We'll try and fill that in. And I think that's going to be... So we'll probably reference this color again when we come up to do the eyes. The lining for the very dark spots of the eyes. But for the big picture here, I think that's going to be it for the darks, which means we can now kind of move up to the midtones. And in this case, that's more pink. Lots and lots of pink. Which is very fun. So, identifying the colors here, we've done this sort of desaturated pink as the base color for Key, which is this one. And we have this brighter pink for the background. If we're looking at Key's arms and shoulders, let's see here. Can you guys see? Let me see if I can fix this for us here. Where capture cursor, yeah, it should. You guys seen that at all? No, I don't think you are you? Okay, well, that's okay. Trying to point out that the very left and very right side of Key has some rim lighting that's using that bright pink. We're going to save that for the very end, though, and make sure we have kind of all our other values, and then pop that bright pink on top. So instead, what we're going to do is look at... again, we're going to start shadows first and then go lighter. So from the base pink that we're working with here, I'm just going to pick that color and we're going to just go down a couple shades. And it actually, if we can see here, so we did the very purple color for the vest. We could take the pink down in that just straight down to make it darker, but that's going to muddy the colors that we're using. Instead, what we're seeing is that it's a darker color on the pink itself. So go back to our original color there, and I'm going to actually go a little bit more to the red side here and a little more saturated instead of directly down for just darker. And that's going to make this feel more vibrant. It's going to make shadows feel like everything's still very colorful. Because that's, when we're talking literally, to go only to reduce just the brightness of the color, you're literally just taking light out, and therefore you're making it a darker picture overall. This is a very not dark picture. This is very bright and bouncy and fun. So we've got our darker color here to kind of start blocking in these bigger shadow areas, which are just kind of informing the folds of the folds of the fabric here. Maybe a little bit bigger on our brush size for the shoulder strokes. And yeah, I'm not even gonna be very precious about like working around the spots we already filled in, because again, we're gonna clean it all up as we keep going. A little spot of the dark shade for up here by the collar. And working kind of shoulder to shoulder and then working towards the middle. That's just how my brain is processing this in particular. But, you know, if you have a system that works for you, by all means, that's perfectly fine. Again, we're just kind of, and maybe it's just me, I tend to think of, I try to look for like triangular shapes. If I can define it in like a polygon sort of area, that's an easy way to fill in some information. So that, and then we zoom out again and see how we're coming along here. It's taken form, you know, from the nothing we had 30 minutes ago. We've got a lot more of key. So now I'm gonna go in for the hand, and this is where we're probably gonna have the hardest time because hands are difficult. And this is the blurry mid-frame of a scene, so we don't even get full definition on what the fingers are doing. Like, I can't tell. I assume that's a ring he has on the index finger. This one, yeah. That's how I'm gonna draw it in anyway, because we just don't have that much data to work from here. Anyway, stop making excuses and get to the drawing, right? Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Just want to look in here at, okay, so try and find where the sleeve is and really define that. I think we're gonna call it right about there. Might be wrong, I might have to readjust that later, but it's got a little triangle of sleeve right in the thumb there. And so really we're getting, this is, again, we're getting a lot of information about the fabric texture from these shadows. But just by defining that line, I can then use that as a reference point to kind of keep, you know, pulling back from. And yeah. So the biggest shadow area is right here on like the middle under the fingers, which makes sense. And then we have just kind of a few lines along the side, and even I would say my brush is a little too big for the level of definition we want here, but again, we are going to clean a lot of this up. So we're not going to be too precious about it right now. I'm just going to kind of block in colors as we see them, and then zoom out and see if we didn't mangle it. And so far, looks like we're doing pretty good. Yeah, I would say so. So now, think that's kind of darks placed as best we can. I'm gonna go in and find our light color for the pink here. And again, this is kind of deeper theory stuff, but the light on this fabric is coming from actual stage lighting. So that means that whereas we did more saturated and more colorful for the shadows, we are actually going to do the opposite for the lighting and pull it away from saturation, because the more light is kind of washing out the color. So for our base pink here, come up and to the left, I'm going to go pretty light. One of the other things is like painting light onto things, you need more light to cover up dark. So there is, we'll see if that color is light enough. We'll start down here on this shoulder, where this kind of really defines our boundary. I think the color is good, we just need slightly smaller brush size here. Really paint that in. And yeah, it's just kind of up here on the shoulder, a little on this side of this shadow. And this is where the pressure sensitivity is nice. You just do sort of a light hatch across to connect those two shapes. And similarly out to this shoulder. Maybe not a ton of light hitting over there, but it is a little lighter. Like so, and we need a little light definition on this side of the seam of the shoulder. That's gonna do a world of difference here. So now, you zoom out. Tell me that shoulder doesn't look pretty good. Just with the little bit of shadow and light definition. And all of a sudden, wow, we're actually looking at something here. So let's go do the same thing on the other side. This is actually where a lot of our definition or shape information is coming in on this shoulder. Right up on the top there. I didn't see it. Okay, now this is, again, the minute detail thing. So from the little thumbnail, you can't really, like, it seems like the shoulder line is all one continuous thing, but then you zoom in and you can really see that the black vest piece is sitting well above where the pink kind of coat layer dips under. And that's the sort of thing that kind of have to capture here in the zoom in for it to read correctly on the zoom out. And that's just a philosophical point, I guess. Very good, very good. So now again, on the other side of the seam here, has kind of the biggest light bright spot. And while that was a heavy stroke I just did there, it still does the trick. But I am gonna kind of soften that edge a little. And then this is all fairly dark over here. The lights start spilling out down at the bottom here. I think, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We zoom out again here. Not perfect, but again, we'll clean up later. And now same thing for the sleeve. Let's try and spot some lights in here and really bring this to life. So not, again, because of its top-down lighting, so the light that hit the shoulders easily is not going to hit the underside of the sleeve because the hand being up like that is blocking it. So we really shouldn't have any values. And this is where like logic comes into drawing. If the light can't get to that same spot as well, then you by definition would not use the same value to fill in that spot, you know? And that's, again, that's broad strokes advice for doing this sort of realistic color matching type of thing. Stylizations, you can do whatever you want essentially, in midtones. Anyway, I sure hope the audio mix is good for you guys. I haven't heard a whole lot of feedback yet, which is fine. It's y'all are good chilling, but yeah, do just let me know if there's any issues with that sort of technical thing. We can get those fixed up. Anyway, okay, spotting light onto the sleeve means that we're just kind of popping in little spots of light that are going to help define some of these folds and wrinkles in a little bit. And most of them are probably going to get smudged and blended away. But there we go. That's pretty good. Just a couple little spots there help give you the feeling of the fabric contour. I don't really think there's any major color variation. I mean, we'll see when we get there, but I don't think the neck collar piece really gets much light there. I don't really want to start on the hand next, so I'm going to see if we can figure... Yeah, let's just jump up to the face. Well, first things first. Fill in some hair. Just so we have the framing, you know. So this is going to be a brandy new color, and I think what I'm going to do here... Again, we don't want to... We want to sort of pick the mid-tone, the average color, for our first flat layer, so that way we can add dark and light around that shade and define the volume that way. If you start out too dark or too light, it just becomes more difficult to do that process. Now, at least I find it easier to start at mid-tone and identify dark and light. Hair color, going for mid-tone. So this is probably what I would pick for this like very shiny blonde. But then we want sort of mid, which means I need it to be a little dirtier. And a little, it's definitely not super saturated there. And this is a tricksy one where like, maybe zooming in and color picking would kind of be helpful. But who knows? We're just gonna wing it here. I'm thinking we're off on the wheel though, of like, maybe not yellow, maybe blue? No, that's not a blue. It does need to be a yellow. That checks out. We're just gonna throw this down, see what it looks like. Give it a testaroonie. Cool. So brush size up a bit. And let's just put a wash of this color down, see what... A little bigger. I mean, yeah, that'll work. I'm not loving it. I'm not McLovin' it, but a fine starting spot. Again, we're just getting that general shape down right now. And we will define sort of shape and color and features as we go. We need this nice base coat down. And so we get to the edges with the detail stuff, just take that brush size down a little. I'm gonna be a little careful around the fringe there, just because that's gonna be a pain to blend that in properly. look at that. I see Banana Cream's little Paris running around there. Hi, Banana. Thanks for joining in. Let's see here. And then we gotta get the full extent of the mullet here. Again, we're just dropping in a color block here. We're gonna try and define the dimensions to that mullet action as we get into the shadowing and the highlighting. I guess I'll have to leave that in a little undefined because those little wispies are going to be tough to do at this brush size. A little mullet action hiding over here. Okay. Zoom out a little. Is it looking like key yet? Kind of, mostly. Build up this side of the head a little. And it's probably about time that we do a classic horizontal canvas flip. See if anything's glaringly wrong. And so far, well, let's see here. The angle of the face is not perfect at the moment, but that's okay. We haven't locked anything in there that we can't fix yet. Am I doing this all on one layer? No, we have 3 layers going. We got a sketch layer, a background layer, and a key layer, which I have to name. Key. And thanks for the follow, Banana. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. So we've got our base hair color. The more I'm looking at this, the more intimidated I'm getting, but that's okay. Nothing to it but to do it. The color mixing on these shadows is kind of frying my brain a little because it's got the pinks, it's got some purplish value in there, but then it's also the dark, quote-unquote dark color of blonde. That's a funny thing I will have to fix, is the little auto message it did. That's okay. Hey, look at everyone dance for you, Banana. All the little avatars dance. Okay, let's see. Really, so this is a wild, like, it's down here in this range of pinky purple, but very light. Like in this range. I'm gonna get that just a little darker, and let's see if my eyes are not insane in picking this as like a shadowy. It's a little intense, but you know what? I think we might be on the right track here. I'm gonna toss this in where I think it goes. Oh, hey, Banana, you're my first sort of active participant here. How's my audio mix? Is everything sounding okay? Because I have not had a chance to balance the music levels and like my mic levels or anything, so if anything needs to go up, come down, just let me know. Thank you. Let's spot some more of this down here. Yeah. Kind of a light shade of it around here. Doing that nice bowl effect. It's a little darker up at the part here. surprisingly, I think we got the color just about right. I'm actually very, very happy with how that one came out. Okay, which is good. Pat myself on the back all I want. We've got like 4 more shades to figure out in this head. Alright, volume's Gucci. That's what we like to hear. Fantastic. Let's see here. So that is our sort of mid to light tone shadows. Am I gonna worry about that extreme cut? Because I also said the rim lighting on the sleeves would also come at the end too. Yeah, we won't worry about the rim lighting yet. Let's get some more of those values in for the main features here first before we get too detailed. The more I look at this fringe, the more I think I've bitten off quite a bit more than I can chew here. But oh well. We'll see what we can do with it. Time for our light for the hair, which is almost pure white. Probably going to avoid going completely pure white here. Pretty close to pure white shade for this. We're just gonna probably take the brush size down a little bit more. Squiggle in some highlight shinies. I think the biggest shinies area is up here, very near the crown of the head, I believe is the technical term. For all you anatomy buffs out there. And we zoom out here. Is this still reading as a head? Yeah, for the most part. Get this highlight. This is definitely like highlight city down here. And this down here. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. I don't think there's any more avoiding. It's time to get in on this face. The pièce de résistance, as it were. So... I think I'm gonna go kind of like an orangish route for a base color here on the skin tone, just to make sure that Key stays nice and warm. And there's like some details around his eyes that are reading pretty orange as well. But like very soft orange, I think. Something... more orangey. Is that too saturated? That might be too saturated. Something around this level. Let's just lay that down and see how it looks. Oh, bigger brush, please. And now this feels a little funny, just piling this in for the whole, for all the skin tone, especially around the neck here where it's like mostly shadow. So I'm probably actually not going to get too thorough on that. But we definitely do want it on the hand here as well. Maybe not full saturation, but we still want some of this undertone. on the ear too, doesn't it? Yeah, that checks out. And now the hair was very informative about how these lights and shadows are working as well, because this is largely pink and purple shadow. So let's get back down to this part of the color wheel. And it's almost like a nice lilac-y. It's doing a lot of the color work here, or the shadow. So, much smaller brush this time. Let's see how that comes out. Again, just rough shapes here. We'll define more specific areas the more we go. Gotta get these sharp little cheekbones of his. And then knowing that the microphone's there does kind of inform us of a lot of shadow activity going on this side. His neck is all very shadowy. I'm gonna go ahead and drop shadow across the lip area for now, but we'll get that actual lip coloration on another pass. Just some gentle suggestions of where the nose slopes are here. Those eyebrow shadows. Again, the hairline is doing a lot of work up here, obscuring where the eyebrow line is. But that's okay. This shadow on the right side of his face here is going to be very definitive of our key likeness. Okay, so just sort of that outline shapes there. Work in a little more to suggest those cheeks. Again, that scandalous little smirk of his. And now if we zoom out, it's starting to look a little bit like a face, I think. Do one of those horizontal flips again. Yeah, the whole head's a little skewed maybe a bit there. What if I don't have the sketch lines on? Not cursed at all. Alright, back to business here. So that was sort of the lighter shade. And I think we're still gonna spot around here and try and get a few more areas of definition before we go any darker. Oop, don't want to go into the mullet there. Let's kind of shadow up this whole mid-brow area there. So that's how that's reading. I guess I'm gonna shade into the eyes a little bit here just because the eyes are all a part of how you read the face, obviously. Okay. And now surprisingly, the next layer of shadow seems to get more saturated again. More saturated and kind of more intensely pink. So let's rotate up into that pink a little bit. Go heavier into the saturation zone. And we're going to take the brush size down a bit again, since we're getting more and more detailed here. At least on this right side of the face. Actually, I'm not sure if this shadow color will come through to the other side here, but this cheek line, or this jawline here, is very well defined. A little bit of carry-over lighting there. And then just kind of softly kissing along this cheekbone area is this pink. Yeah, there's a little bit of that happening over here by this eye, so I'm just gonna kind of put a spot of that over here, and we can blend around the specifics of it when we get there. Zooming out again, kind of want to make sure all the major landmarks are where I want them to be before we start getting into face detailing. So, shoulders, chest are looking good. The sleeve is like sort of reading, and then once we get to the hand, it's all goop so far. But that's okay. We're just progressing our way now down. Which kind of puts me right at the eyes, which is why I'm being a little wishy-washy about getting in there. But I think it's time. So, sketch back on. Let's get back in here. Actually, you know what? I think since I've been at this for about an hour, this is probably a good time to call a little break before we get into the good stuff. So I will go ahead and throw over to the break screen and be back in about 5-ish. Alrighty, enough fun with the stream avatars here. Back to business. Back to painting business. Okay, so we're gonna get started on Key's face here. The time has come. So in this case, like I mentioned before, we're gonna go back to the purple that we did for the vest, and then I'm gonna turn our brush size way down. Get in here for some detailing. Now I think I'm just gonna start with the sort of most well-defined shape of the eye here. But this is again, no, so this is where it's gonna be very important to kind of check and double check our positioning, because this is where the sort of magic of the likeness comes in. Making sure the eyes are in the right relationship to each other, like size-wise, positioning. And it's wild how much being off just a teensy little bit will completely ruin any sense of that looks like that person. So let's switch out the sketch on. And I think first off, right off the bat, they're probably a little too far apart. So let's undo that. Let's go back to that sketch layer and see if we can muddle around with these guys. If we just adjust that one in, and this one likewise. Does that help? Yes and no. Let's see here. I think the problem is we didn't really define the eyes enough here, so we'll go back to the sketcher here. Just kind of work this out a little bit more to where everything is. So we've got our pink spot here. Make sure I'm on the right layer again. Do not want to be doodling on the paint layer. You hate to see that happen. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to adjust this audio just a bit here, see if we can get that overall volume a little bit better. There we go. Turn things up a teensy bit, maybe like 10%. Again, hopefully not too extreme. Let's see. So I'm going to treat this more like a pencil sketch on this go round. And just try and find... I think not having the eyes like even gestured in at all was kind of throwing me off. Because you can't tell where the eyes are looking without some sort of indicator. So put those guys in, zoom out a little, and adjust as necessary. Overall, one probably a little too big. And positioning still not ideal. Maybe a bit more like that. Zoom out again. Okay, I think I see the angles that are kind of throwing me off here. Yeah, that eye rotation was definitely a little too sharp. Let's see here. Try and gesture in more of this nose shape here. That also seems to be kind of throwing off the likeness. Maybe it really is just not having the pouty lip gesture properly jotted in here. And zoom out a little, see if we can fix that up. Mostly, largely, this cheek line over here with the microphone overlap with the mullet and the fingers kind of coming down here all together. Definitely the trickiest spot thus far. Nose still too big. Getting better, getting closer. This is definitely the hard work of trying to do portraiture. Let's do a little smaller there. Oh. I think it's gone too far up now, probably. That's better. Definitely better. I don't think we found it quite yet, but that's kind of par for the course. That's okay then. Let's keep kind of chiseling away, and we will hopefully find it as we go. So let's get back to our painting layer. And back to our painting brush. Still nice and small on our brush size here. And we're going to kind of lock in these eye shapes here. This is a fun time. I wish you guys could see, yeah, this is the angle I have to go to get this, this stroke with my left-handedness. So yeah, if you guys ever see me working at a very odd rotation angle, it's probably just because I'm a lefty. Okay, so that's that nice, sharp, crisp eye line. Let's also get the... Boy, I love... Like, the more I you know, anytime you work on a piece like this, where you're just kind of staring at someone for a long, long time, I love figuring out, like, finding the little details. Like the cohesive purple tint to Key's contacts. The whole look is so good. So let's just in those irises there as well. That'll help ground it. And then the far edge here of the eyes are this lovely little sort of shadow fade thing going on, so we won't be as crisp on the definition here. But there is still very much the shadowy values out here. In fact, we're gonna increase our brush size just a bit to do some soft little strokes. And then even that's, I think, too big. Yeah, these, and I think maybe even these shadow effects here were skewing my sketching brain's idea of how big these eyes were. Maybe, or I was just bad at it. Could be that. Let's do that as sort of the... Now on the immediate zoom out, I hate that. Especially that one long one. Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, so we'll just do it again. It's the beauty of digital, baby. There we go. Yeah, that shade wants to be kind of very specifically under that line. There we go. No, not taking phone calls right now, thank you. Alright, there we go. Now we can get back to action here. The other thing to note is that the inside of the eye is also pretty shadowy. Well, not that shadowy. But yeah, just a couple little notes of the shade coming in there. Again, we know that the light is very top down. But again, this is probably an area we're gonna come back to and clean up a lot, so I'm not gonna get too precious with it yet. Just want to have the sort of general look of it blocked in there. I think I do, but again, it's looking a little big and a little far. Let me just try something here. When I say far, I mean it's kind of a little far over to the right, is my immediate thought. So if let's take this down a little bit, bring you over here. Turn the sketch layer off. And... is that helpful? Not terribly, is it? Whoop. Yeah, let's just ruin all the work real quickly there. Okay. Get the old smudger out and smudge away this empty spot here. See if that doesn't help with the skewed perception. I think that's okay. I mean, this is just one of those times where things in progress don't look so hot. But I want to say that, like, how to, let's see here. Back on, now we are on the right layer. Perfect, perfect. All according to plan. Let's go a little lighter than the current color we're working with, but it's definitely in this family to get this sort of nose, brow line shadow in, because that's a real important one I think that I'm missing as a landmark. Right there, and then kind of the complementary one on the other side. And with those in, a little easier. Let's get that sketch back on. That'll help. That'll help remind us what things look like here. Yeah, This size might still be a little too high up. But let me block in some more of these eye shadows, or the brow shadows here. See if that is still how I feel afterwards. I think we can also use this valley to kind of block in the mic shadow that's been dominating this lower portion. Kind of thrown off my whole perspective here. Too dark. There we go. Banana, you think I can get away with playing key nonstop without any copyright claims? Because that sure would be sad. Day one, going down. Zoom out a little here. Try and pinpoint where I'm thinking this is a little off. It's largely in the nose area right now, but I think that's again just from lack of definition thus far. We gotta power our way through. Let's see if we can get that chin spacing defined as well. That'll help. If this is chin, and it's shaded appropriately, yeah, the more I look at it, the more confused I get by the motion blur of the hand. But oh well, we'll work around that. The brush is probably a little too small right now for this area, but it's okay. Okay, a little bigger there. And nope, not eraser. Nope, just blend this up a little, so that doesn't look quite so layering. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we're finding him in there. He's starting to show up. I may have done the thing where I make the eyes, just in general, too big. But let's keep going here. We'll see if we don't have to do major facial reconstruction surgery later. Since I'm more confident on this left eye, see if we can figure out the definition for here. No, we're still smudging. Oh boy, happens to the best of us, fam. Okay, and that brush size is too big. There we go. Just drop in some darks here. Double check that we're on the right layer. Also good to remember to do from time to time. So just trying to get irises help. Keep that the look of the eyes in the right direction here. Like if I dropped the sketch completely. Yeah, that's looking a little better. Well, that undid a little too much, but that's okay. And ponder my next move over some coffee here. I think what we're gonna do, the eyes are coming along, slowly but surely. Maybe work on blending this out a little bit more, because really this section is a lot softer. Okay, I think we're gonna try and work this definition of shadows down the nose here as best we can, which probably will require the sketch layer back on, just as the handy dandy guideline. Let's see here. Noses are always definitely a little weird for me because, I don't know. They just go through so many weird stages as you define them. It's very easy to mess that up and give someone a real goofy looking schnoz. Just gonna kind of build up these shadow layers here. Because again, we're probably gonna blend a lot of this out. It looks too textury. And then just little bits like this little crease that comes off the side of the nose there. That could be like a make or break detail sometimes. It's hard to tell which ones those are gonna be. Is that too dark? That's too dark. And get even smaller with our brush here for detail work. Where we're actually going to try and hit the shape of these nostrils correctly. I have that crease in the right spot. We'll try and get both sides done and then we'll do cleanup. Okay, that's like a hard little line there. Fills in that shape there. Perfect. I hope. And that's more of a gestural suggestion there. Yeah, surprisingly little definition on that left side of the nose. Let's see without the sketch layer. How are we looking there? It's okay. The values on the right side of the nose are definitely not quite right. We need more of a pink wash, but we can fix that. Just overall location and placement, though, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Definitely still have some cleanup to do, but it's moving in the right direction. That's the important part. About there. Something like that, yeah. Okay, so now we have sort of the crux of the face. We can work sort of out from there to better define the cheeks. Sorry, Mike. The cheeks, boy, I'm still a little apprehensive getting in on that pouty little smirk of his. But we will get there. Let's see here. And since Banana says it's gonna be okay, and that Twitch definitely 100% is not gonna get mad at me, let's see if we can switch up our soundtrack here a little. Gee, Spotify. No, I did not mean Kendrick Lamar when I searched for K-E-Y Key. I meant the guy Key. Calls himself Key? That's who I meant. Anyway. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Probably pause that. Banana, you trying to sabotage the stream day one? Day one? Okay, if the stream gets taken down for 5 seconds of bad love, then it's all Banana's fault. Everyone blame Banana. Oh, and now I gotta get back over to... Come on. Give me back my key picture, which is just a frozen... a paused screenshot. Oh, I've thoroughly donked up the computer now. It don't know what to do. Not super helpful. That was my only reference tab open. So, just a sec while we wait on Chrome to catch up with us here. Oh, that's not good. Chrome may have just crashed. Yikes. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just taking its sweet ass time. Okay. Hopefully, that was okay. No one missed anything important there. And now we can get back to the painting. Okay, so this little crease from the right side of the nose, I think, is going to be a big landmark for us to sort of gesture in the rest of the cheek shape here. Yeah, I'm definitely using a little too much of this You can tell the parts now where I've really gotta really concentrating because I'm forgetting to talk now. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the chill beats though, and just enjoying watching the painting come together. If you'd like more of my inane rambling though, do let me know and I'll try and keep it up. Let me just plop a couple paint strokes willy-nilly because I dropped my pen. Alright, let's turn that sketch off, see how we're coming here. Gotta roughen that microphone. I think that's the next step here. Because that's obscuring a lot of our read. Funnily enough, the microphone is basically pure white. I don't think I will use the pure white though. I'll just give it a nice little... Yeah, that's why it's on the sketch layer. It's not where we wanted it. Okay, let's put a little vertical guy there. And thin that out a little. Okay, now if that... Oh, that's much better. Very helpful, very helpful. And we get a little zoom out here and see the progress, how it's coming so far. It's actually shaping up pretty nicely, I think. Obviously there's a big blurry, unintelligible spot in the middle there, but we're slowly but surely getting there to define things up. So let's keep at it. Okay, now I think it's time to, without the sketch, try and nail in the lips. These again, lips are like one of the main things for telling who a person is. You're like, oh, those aren't the right lips. Breaks the illusion. So all the caution I can muster. Try and get this right on the first time. Actually, no, I do want the sketch back on. Or do I? It's not accurate. Decisions. We're gonna try without first. I'm also just realizing a few of those shading things did go on the face, or on the sketch layer. Cool. So never mind, we're not ready to get into the lips yet. All these spots are on the wrong layer, damn it. We'll definitely have to come back up and punch up the colors through here a little bit, but that's okay. We'll have the shadows where we need them. Okay, need to go a little smaller on the brush here for even more detail work. See, I knew this little smirk was gonna be the death of me. There's a tiny, like, you can just see the little crease of the smirk on the left side peeking out from behind the microphone. Let's see. We may end up putting the microphone on a different layer or something, so we can adjust it around. We'll see, because that's where I think that lip should hit. And that's not quite right on the shading, so it's not reading quite right. How is that comparing to? Yeah, not far off. Tricky little details here. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Is that closer? It's closer. Try to do the squint read on the face here. It's coming together. Still. See if we can figure out how to define the shape on this mouth a little better. Probably not with the tube size brush. Find a little more pink in the lips here. Now that's a huge improvement. Just a little top lip definition. And that does a world of wonders in bringing that face together. I mean, not perfect, obviously. But wow, it helps to read. And even lighter still for that bottom lip, it looks like. Yeah. That's kind of starting to look like Key a little bit. Okay, we've got lots of dark or shadow definition going. Let's try and bring in some of the highlights now. And do some more skin tone definition. Let's see here. Back into that sort of yellowy, the blonde color we were working with there. Just want to give that a hint of sort of warmer skin tone. No, I can't say that's doing what I want it to. Boy, this is true. I'll say this. I mean, I picked this for that great purple-pink color scheme. It's wreaking havoc on my understanding of skin tone. Let's see here. Now I can figure this out. Yeah, I think we want this tone more around the... Yeah. Sort of a bridge between these highlight spots. And so at this point, I'm working with a pretty large size brush and just kind of doing very soft adjustments around the shadows I've already kind of produced. Mostly trying to blend them into this warmer yellow color. Especially around the middle of the face here where the stage lights are kind of hitting more directly. Yeah, that's doing some work. We're seeing some progress here. Yeah, look at how this tone just sort of naturally blends between all of these. Very natural. Okay, I think it's time to start hitting some highlights just so I don't go crazy. Trying to figure out all these midtones at once. So let's get nice and light. Again, we're trying to avoid pure white. Except for where it's absolutely necessary. I don't think we found the spots for you. It's a little too big of a brush. Got this nice prominent nose highlight here, and that'll be a nice landmark to have. It's wild that one little dot just immediately like pops that nose right off from being flat to being a dimensional object. Drawing is fun. Okay, and then a nice little shine here on the bridge of the nose as well. Fantastic, although I'm not sure how balanced that is just yet. We'll have to geek out those details a little. Alright, increase the brush size a bit for our cheekbones here. They don't get quite the same level of shine, but they still undoubtedly get some little glow here. Just trying to layer this up kind of slowly and gradually till we get to where we want it to be. Yeah. That's looking pretty good. And then yet again, the left cheek has even less kind of overall glow into it, but there's still just that lighter shade. Cool. Yeah, that's looking very nice. And we can even come down here and help with some of the lip definition here. That'll actually be huge. Nice little highlighty spot on the philtrum. Believe that's the anatomical name for the cleft of the lip there. Someone used that as a character name. One of the cartoons or something. It's like Miss Philtrum. Nope, that's Dimension 20. I just remembered. That was one of the... I think that was the headmistress of Misfits in Magic. Miss Philtrum. Yeah, Banana remembers. That was her name. Even more here. We're getting pretty close to having a key on screen here. Try and figure out where I want to go in and attack next. I think definitely the nose still needs more work and better color work. So yeah, let's get in there and do that. It's kind of throwing off my whole look of things. We need some more pink in here, so let's grab that nice bright pink. Pull it down a little closer to the purple that we've already developed there. And this is still just a very pale sort of wash that we want to do here, or at least that I want to do. Even more pale than that, yeah. Very soft pink. To just kind of... Oh, no, much bigger brush needed for this. Just kind of do a little wash across the nose here. And work on cleaning up that blend here. Largely, yes. I think this is an improvement. It's getting us to that shade I was thinking of. For sure. Yeah, that's working a treat. Let's do a little blending in this nose side here. And just some soft little tippy taps to kind of pull this where I'm thinking here. Especially now that we've got more of that definition of the kind of sweeping cheek line there, we can pull that out a little so that blends together. Nice. Yeah. See if we can build in that little kind of corner there. Is that it? That's close. Okay, so I think I like that for... Definitely that's an improvement on the right side. Let's see if we can get the left to match up here. And you can definitely see that as we're zooming in and cleaning up on things, we're really starting to nail in definitive features here. Let's see. Maybe missed the tone on this little left nostril here a little bit. Let's see, we'll have to come back in and define up the hard lines a little, but just give that a bit of a fuzz there. And just get a little blend on those shadows. This is very nicely starting to shape up now, if I do say so myself. And get a little more soft edge on these, what are actually shadows, not hard line features. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's see if we can do a little bit better job on the nostril definition here. Some of this nice orangey mid-tone. And we're working smaller than that still. Okay, so that spot actually wants to be a little darker, more purple instead of them. What am I seeing down here? I'll do that. I'm gonna blur up the nostril line. That one is actually a hard line feature. Actually, what we want is a new color. We want a nice orangey shadow in here. At least that's my professional opinion. Maybe just a nice little... Yeah, that's giving us more of the value that we're looking for. Kind of blends the purples together as well. That's pretty good. Oh yeah. This was a great decision here. A little orange in these shadows. It gives us some of the reflective light quality of a lot of the pink, and still just warms those warm light tones. Very good. And yeah, just a little bit over here. Kind of bring that all together. Yeah, that's awesome. And a little bit of that same tone I think needs to go around the eyes. Just for the warmth and that kind of pop it gives. Let's do a little wash around there for now. We might have to come back and steal some of this color for further rendering, but that'll be fine. No biggie there. And that might be a little too much orange in that wash there. It kind of is. Let's pull that back a little. Okay. Where else do we want to spot that in? Around the whole face here, actually. It's a bit of a contouring. Okay. Yeah, we're making progress here. trying to want to get this left cheek a little bit more properly defined. Liking this tone, where the orange and kind of purple have met together. Because we have, let's see here, kind of a definitive, well, I haven't made it very definitive yet, but this cheek line here is pretty sharp when it comes down to it. So let's see what we can do about that. Okay, first time to use the eraser here, but I think it's about time we kind of start carving out this line a little bit more. So, first off, make sure the eraser's on the right brush and of a workable size. That's helpful. And that's gonna trim this over here. Very carefully. Just gonna trim this up to catch. So I might have to add back in some detail for the microphone, but I think this is largely cheek line we're dealing with here. And if we zoom back out, yeah, that's looking better. Maybe even trim out that little edge a bit. And again, we'll go back and clean up all the edges and whatnot. So now that we're getting ever closer to actually nailing it, we can kind of start to see the more obvious issues with, let's see here, what is now the right side eye being a little skewed. But we can fix all that in post. The magic of digital. In fact, I will resist the temptation now to start skewing and stretching and pulling things. Who knows, I might fix it in the further painting. Okay. It's a big improvement on the jawline, or on the cheek line, I should say. I think the hair probably comes in a little as well. Coming together. Now where do I want to move to next? I think we're just gonna keep cleaning up this area here around the eyes and cheeks. Because this is a real, pretty important one. So we'll zoom out a little bit here. We need to get a little bit more pink wash into here in general. But it's reflected light, so it's a lot more pale than the pure color that we were working with. And let's just yeah, wash this over. Let's see, actually, let's do a mix of painting and blending in this one, because I do want to pull a bit of this saturation, the saturated point up here, down into the cheek a bit to blend in. Yeah. And then we can pull some of the brightness of the skin tone that we've been developing back up. Those areas. Just looking at this, I think the brightness of the cheek comes a lot closer to the edge than I had originally accounted for. And pull this corner up a bit. Very nice. Back to our pink here. Let's sort of paint that down. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice. More fill there and sort of soft touch that. Try not to get too fussy on the edges here. Guess I should figure out what this little mechanism attaching the microphone is and actually account for that instead of just painting around it. Still though, not bad. For almost 3 hours of progress. I'd say we've come quite a long ways. Let's see, we'll just pull the color that we've used for the microphone. Double check we're still on safe layer. Yeah, this is right at about nose level. It's just sort of a little white apparatus-y thing there. Good, we can erase that because that's going in the wrong direction. Reconnect that there, and then we need a little bit of the skin tone to just imply some ear around here. And that's... Give that a smudge here. Because we don't actually want this to read, like, clearly. If anything, we want this to be more or ambiguous, I guess. Yeah, and let's even do a little... Just bring this down to, like, more of a gray. And do a little bigger. Just do a quick little wash over that. Try to pick that kind of nice dark color there too. That wants to be doing this action, I guess, right? Yep. I think that is correct. Let's sort of blend that out to there. Man, some of these chill beats are downers. I mean, I guess it's chill. Oh well. We'll just roll with it, I guess. Okay. So I guess as we keep, we'll just keep defining down this jawline since it is probably the most complex part of his face. We've got a lot of overlap details happening here. Let's see, I'm on the... Okay. Let's see what a little smudge in that area looks like, and then we can kind of sample something in that range. Perfect. To come back in here with a nice detailing brush. I just felt like updating the stream title as well. Right there. Since it's not really sketching anymore, we're just doing a full-on painting. Okay, where are we doing this little shadow bit back here? And yeah, I'm really considering now just painting over this microphone and putting it on a different layer, which I think is what I'm gonna do. Just get rid of that. I'll leave the little extension piece so I know where to connect it, but otherwise I'm gonna be painting over that spot over and over and over. Which also means I'm just gonna kind of do some smudgies in here. mostly of that lighter color we already knew that was good. Try not to ruin the lip definition we did achieve. Wow, look at that. It's like you can't even tell it was ever there. Perfect clone tool. No, that was lazy and fast. That's okay. That being said, let's go ahead and add that layer in. Microphone. Grab the color that we used for the microphone. Let's just use the Procreate function that we love so much. That hold for shape. Fantastic. Drop a little color block in there. Quadrilateral is good. Fill that in a little. This is definitely another lefty angle. But there we go. Now the microphone is movable, as we need to. Big improvement, big improvement. Okay, zooming out a little. The skews and places where we're a little off mathematically are starting to become a little bit more apparent here. But I'm still very happy with how this is coming along. Alright, so now let's get in here and get this mullet microphone overlap corner taken care of. So get this color down here, which is doing a good job. Get that smudged down a little. Are we not? We're not on the right layer. Oh boy. Layers. So helpful and yet so frustrating. Okay, this chill beat has put me to sleep. I can't handle it. Give me other chill beats. Is a 1 a.m. study session better? Nope. No free ads. Let's see if that's a little bit more tolerable beats. Okay, so we've got our chin pretty well defined, and I think in a proper place. It's definitely some fun to turn, yeah, that smudger up and really get some of these colors blended together. That's a well-defined chin. Okay. bring that definition line further up. Crosses to there. It's right about where we've got the hair coming in. Is that some of the pink background coming? Oh boy. This is a little bit of a hard one to tell what's going on, actually. I think that's gotta be shadow, though. I think it's more of this color that we're looking for, actually. Because it creates a little contrast line with the neck. Okay, and then take that nice dark purple here. I guess that's forming the basis of the neck definition on that side. Trying to see if there's a color anywhere else I can reference that's doing that shadow effect that it's kicking in there. Not really. Maybe in this range. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. And then do another wash over here of skin tone-ish color to just get that read that it's not dark purple. Okay. I think I'm as happy as I'm gonna be about that section. I'm gonna try something here. Just see if it works the way I think it will. Just gonna do a little bit of a soft pink wash over this side. Yeah, this is actually working out pretty nice. Okay. Perfect. I think now we're ready to come back into defining the mouth. So nice tight detaily brush to just sort of redefine the shape down here. I'm definitely massaging this lip corner too much for this phase, but it's annoying when I can't quite get it to do the thing I'm expecting it to do. Getting really confused now looking at it without the microphone. But I did want to make sure we had the lips done underneath as well. Yeah, okay. Actually, we do want to work on the microphone layer here, and we can get that defined properly. Helps if the brush is the right size. Still probably too big. There we go. And again, avoiding pure black whenever possible. And again, we'll just soften up that edge a little. Because it is probably a soft fuzzy mic. Not fuzzy, but it's probably a foam cover on that mic of some sort. Gotta say, it's coming together. Yeah. Here we go. We'll do the microphone at half opacity. That'll help me keep track of where it is without having to keep turning it on and on, off and on. Words. Words are good and easy. And this is a bit of a tricky one just because it's doing the kind of hard edge shadow here, but should be able to just kind of render this in. Just because it's the soft brush, it kind of wants to make the edges well, fuzzy, but can work around it. Okay, yeah. Pretty happy with that, although there's kind of a very specific way the shadow is hitting on the chin that I would love to be able to capture. part of that's just kind of blending away that hard chin line. Letting the shadows imply the form a bit more than defining it. But then we gotta increase the size of some of the chin definition there. Nice. Yeah. It's coming along wonderfully. Let's see if we can make this chin look real and not just flat. Cool. This is definitely one of those times where you realize you've included too much neck space in your painting and need to move the whole head down closer to the hand. Let me see what I can do about that. It's basically, we want us to take this and just move it down. I think to like there, technically. Turn off that microphone. I mean, that's a lot closer. My sketched in thumb is still way off from what I'm seeing here, but I think we can get that fixed up. Move everything else accordingly, I guess. Just a little. Yeah. There we go. That's better. Just blend all that down. That's easy enough. Yeah, that's looking better. Honestly, we might be a lot farther off on the sleeve stuff too than I realized. It's looking like a lot more of this sleeve comes, or the vest comes through here. That's okay. Won't worry too much about that just yet. We did definitely like mess up the collar into the thumb area there. Oh wow. Just a little cursed sketch over top of the painting there. Just a little. Okay, so we're still working on this chin though. Which actually means I want some of this paint back down here. Okay, yeah, this is finally all starting to come together here, where we're getting unified colors and the shadows are all starting to blend together. Very nice. Just what we like to see. A little more color into this bottom lip here. Let's just clip this lip line a little. Okay. So having worked our way down from sort of left eye, down the cheek line, through the lips and chin area here, it's coming along pretty nicely, I wanna say. Pretty clear difference between the blended and unblended sides of the cheeks. Let's see if we can tighten that up a little now. Yeah, pretty good, I would say, across the board, except we need to just add a little bit of light pink to this cheekbone so it matches up the other side a little bit more. Ooh. Yeah, again, seeing some spots we're gonna have to do some adjustments on, but still holding out some hope that this one's gonna be pretty close to likeness level at the end here. Oop. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too distracted by the off-angle eyes that I can't help but see now. In fact, see, we just do that and try and blend that out. Better. Better. Not perfect, but better. We'll keep working. Try not to get too discouraged by the skew just yet. Because I think the other thing that's maybe messing it up is the fact that I haven't blended down the hairline fringe yet. And hopefully that'll help excuse some anatomy mistakes. Where are we now? I want to say we're back up here on the eyes. Yeah, I think that's looking good. This hot pink section on the cheek is like really kind of throwing me. So I think for now we're gonna call that good. I think we're gonna try and blend in some of this hairline now. So let's see, we want sort of this color. It's just going to kind of come down a bit in some sections. Actually, blenders may be even better for this, because I do already have the spots there. Yeah, that sort of looks like the hairline, right? Yeah. Those might even be thin enough that we don't even need to blend them in. We'll do a little blending on the thick one here. I just want to soften this up a little so it's not a hard line all the way through. Actually looks like cast shadow. Yeah, it's not bad. Take some of the light color here and hit the other side of the hair, the highlights. actual hairline now. Yeah, we're making pretty good progress here. And we'll definitely blend in those highlights and whatnot a bit, so that hair doesn't look quite so blotchy, I guess. I'm actually in reviewing the shapes here. Let's see. Probably gonna end up trimming this in just a bit. Let's see if that helps on the shaping at all. Yeah, it's getting there. Definitely some more detail work to massage around the eyes here, but big progress. Okay, yeah. Still gonna have some fixing to do on the flip, but that's okay. Good deal, good deal. Okay, let's see if we can get to a spot where we kind of think that the face is finished here. I'm trying to see if I can just spot from a distance any areas that I want to retouch here real quick. Kind of match up again. Let's see here. Maybe darken up this area just a bit. Actually, maybe a little hint of the lighter tone just under there. That's what I'm seeing more of. Yeah. There's that little pout. That's the good stuff. Okay, and yeah, I don't know why I turned that back up. Good deal there. Take some of this and just ever so slightly lighten cheeks over here. I think time to start adding in a little bit more of the pink glow light here. Nope, come back. Okay, nope, not coming back. Gotta love it when the undo feature decides it has its own agenda. Or I'm just sloppy with my taps. One of the two. Okay. I think that's probably going to be as far as we get for this stream. Although I do want to do one quick experiment. We're going to duplicate the layer we painted. Turn off the microphone. Yeah, turn off the microphone. Do a little flipsy here. Just see if we can do some of the adjustments that I think will help. So if we just distort that back left a little bit. What else needs attention here? Do a little warp. Let's see. That nose pulled a little. Okay. If we flip that back around, is that a closer key? Yeah, kind of. Let's compare contrast. Pull that over to the side here. So that's the original. And then edited. Yeah, not far off, but the edited one does feel a little closer. Well, that's fun. And also, I think where we're going to leave it for today, at least for this stream. Maybe we'll be back later tonight. Who knows? Schedules are a strange and hard to predict thing. But I think, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it on this drawing for today, for this painting. Hey, no one was talking to you, YouTube. Okay, I guess that's a good enough spot to do our sign off then. Thank you everyone for showing up. Banana, Spicy, thanks for following. If you enjoyed watching, go ahead and give us a follow, and you'll be notified when we come back to finish this one and do other paintings. Won't that be exciting? But until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.